Hey, this is Buzz Stone checking in with episode number 10 of AirWaves. And if you saw episode number 8, you saw one half of my radio automation system that I have here in my home radio studio. That was Playout 1. That was the automation playout system. The other half of the system and the subject of this video is Music One, the music scheduling program. Music One and Playout One, although they have very similar names, are not put out by the same company. However, they do have an agreement where they work together so that their two systems work seamlessly with each other. And I actually bought the Music One scheduling program first to use with another program I had, but then Playout One came out and they got the arrangement, so I switched over to that, and it's worked out really well. But what I'm going to do today here is kind of go through some of the paces of Music One, the music scheduling program, and so you can see how that works. This is a music category. It's called 71 to 73. And as I scroll up and down here, you see all the songs that are in this category. We scroll down to the bottom, the last one is number 331. So we have 331 songs or tracks in this category. Now the important thing is you set up the categories ahead of time, and then as you import your music library, as you import each song, it's going to be assigned to a song card. Okay? Let's see, let's pick out a song here. Okay. And I'm running two screens. These are popping up over on the other one, but I'll bring it over here. This is a song card, and I double clicked on this song, which is Lobo, I'd Love You to Want Me. And you'll see on the song card here, you got a place to put in the title. Now, you know, if you have all this information in your song file, when you import it, this will automatically put it into the song card here. But if it doesn't, you can manually type it in. But I got a place here for title, I'd Love You to Want Me, the artist Lobo. Over here, position, that's how high it charted on the charts. This particular song charted at number 2 in the year 1972. Gives you the length of the song, the intro time of the song, whether it has a cold or a fade ending. And then down here, so once you've got all your information in the card here, that's where you can assign it to a category. Now the nice thing about this is, you know, this is a classic hits format, so the songs don't, once they get put into a category, they usually don't get moved to a different category. But let's say that you're running a top 40 CHR type format, where your songs are frequently changing rotation categories. You can just hit the little drop down menu here, and then it has all the categories you can choose. So it's very easy to move a song from one category to another, but we're going to leave it there. Also on the song card here, there's gender, and I'll show you later where this is set up according to your parameters, but in this case it's male. Tempo is medium slow. Then we got sound codes over here. This is a pop song, so that's selected. And then you have the cart number 781. That's how the song appears in your library. So when the songs are imported into your library, they're just numbered, and you can set up the numbering sequence too, by the way. And the reason it does it that way is because you can then assign it to a category later. So your songs aren't put into separate categories and they're imported. They're just in the music library. You go in with the song cards and determine what category they're in. You've got these tabs up here. The history, for instance, this says this song has always been in this category, and it has 114 plays. And then rotation. This is a good tool here. What this does is shows you when the song has played recently and gives you an idea of what the rotation's like. So, you know, if you had these squares popping up in a straight line up and down, that means, you know, the song's coming up in the same hour all the time. You don't want that to happen. So this one here, you can see they're scattered around, so it's getting a good rotation. So that's a good tool to have there. Okay, and like I said, there's categories, like I have a Christmas category, actually 60s, 70s, and 80s Christmas categories for jingles, liners, special programs. So you set all your categories up here, and that's all user defined. Now, with this particular program, you do have a limit of 40 categories. They have a more expensive version of this program that a lot of professional commercial radio stations might use. But that program is lease only. You cannot buy it outright like this one you can. You buy it, you own it for life. So that's a good deal. So we've got the categories with all the songs in there. And then we go over to the artist section. And these are all the artists. And again, this is automatically populated as you add your music library into the program. And the music library, by the way, can be imported either through this program or through the Playout One program, because they work together. Either way that you add it, it's going to appear in both libraries of each program. I prefer to add the new music through Playout One, because what it does, it gives me the option of editing the song there as far as the intro points and the outro points, so I can make it sound the way I want to. Let me go back here again to tracks. I'm not sure if I have this enabled or not, but we'll try this. The song card also gives you the ability to listen. And let's see here. I don't know that I have that enabled right now, because you have to have assigned to a separate sound card. And that's another thing in your system. You'll want to have at least 2 sound cards in your system. You'll have one for playing the music out, but you also need a second one for recording your voice track. So you need at least 2 sound cards in there. But that's grayed out, so I don't have that enabled right now, because I don't generally listen to the songs when I'm doing this. I listen to them over in the Playout One program. But anyway, let's move. Let's see. We went through artists, so do those. Artists, it also tells whether they're a male or female, or if it's an instrumental song. The format screen. So you saw there, we went back, we set up the different categories, and we plugged them into this hourly format clock. Okay. And let me go down to one I actually use here. Now, if you don't like this circular clock type format, they also have a vertical linear format. You can click up here, and it's the exact same format, but it's in a vertical linear fashion. Some people may prefer that. Now, once you've got your format clocks set up, you'll need to go to this button right here, which says 24-hour clock lineup. So what we have here is the 24-hour lineup clock, or clock lineup. And this is where you assign the format clocks that you've previously created within the 24-hour period of a day. It goes 0 through 23. And if you'll remember, I told you I created 3 format clocks that rotate: Z93A, Z93B, and Z93C. And so I just plug those in, alternating throughout the day until I get to the 1900 hours, because I have a 70s at 7 show that I run then. And so I have a format clock created for that. And also the next hour, the 2000 hour, the 80s at 8. So I plug that in there. And so we've got all 24 hours of the day with a format clock scheduled. You need to do that before you generate your log, because the logs look at this to determine which format clocks to use to schedule the music in each hour of the day. The next thing we want to do is generate a log. And when we do that, we click on the logs icon, and in this little window up here, little icon, it says make a new schedule. We'll click on that, Again, these are popping up on the right screen. And it says it'll automatically by default go to whatever the next available slot is. Okay, so this is saying, like for instance today, Saturday, February 15th, do you want to make a schedule? So I'm going to say okay. And it says they cannot find the previous day's schedule. Do you wish to proceed? And that's because there was no schedule for yesterday created. So I'll say okay. I do want to proceed. And it brings up then the format clock. And it says up here that this is Z93 format clock A. As I told you, there are three. There's A, B, and C. So it's starting at midnight with format clock A. And what you do is down here there's a yellow arrow pointing to the right. It's the start button. Click that. And you'll see here it's automatically scanning through the hours of the day, and it's scheduling music according to the format clocks. Now, what it's come up to is it's saying that this is the 1600 hour. It's saying that this song right here in the 80 to 82 category, it's run into an issue with the rules. And we'll go over the rules here in a little bit. But you set up your rotation rules, and this is saying, for instance, that I have a rule that says you cannot play two rock songs back to back. Now, the previous song here is We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions, Queen. And my two choices to choose from here are Evelyn Champagne King, Love You Come Down, and Oh Pretty Woman, Van Halen. Well, let me play Van Halen. Actually, it shows me there's two reasons here. One is the artist. So one of the rules I set up was that you can't play two songs by the same artist in the same hour. So it's not going to let me do that but you can manually override it. And the other one is I have a rotation rule that says I don't want to go from a rock song to a soul song. But just for the sake of showing you how this works, I'll just go ahead and say that we're going to play this Evelyn Champagne King. I'd double click on it, it inserts it in there. Now I could have unschedule that. I could have gone in here and right clicked on it, gone down to properties, and it brings up a window here. And I can change the category. For instance, I have a category that's called, this is 80 to 82 song. I got a category that's called Wow 80s. Now these are songs that were not in the top 20, but they were hit songs that were in the top 40. And so I could pick this category as a fill category if I wanted to and say okay. Now when I do that, now it brings up a whole big list down here. As a matter of fact, here's a song that says Never Been Played. This is Benjamin Orr, Stay the Night. So I could click that and put that in there, and then I could just go ahead and proceed. And it'll go on through, and it's come up with another scheduling issue here. So, but you see how that works. Now, since I mentioned rotation rules, I'll go ahead and click up here on that to edit. So in the clock, this says clock rules. You've got three attributes here. You've got gender, tempo, and sound code. Now, in all three of these attributes, these are all user-defined. You decide what goes in there. Now, under gender, I've got male, female, duet, and instrumental. Okay, and I can set up rules like I've got a rule here that says don't play more than 4 male songs back to back. Okay, I've got another rule here that says instrumental songs, you can only play 1 an hour. Okay, so we move on down to tempo, and again, these are user defined. I've set up slow, medium, medium fast, and fast. Then there's rules here too as well. Like for instance, I've got if you're playing a slow song, you cannot segue into a medium fast or fast song. Likewise, if you're in a fast song, you can't go to a slow or medium slow song. Again, these are all subjective. Whatever you want, you can put in there. And then the other one is sound code. And these are all user defined. And I've got pop, soul, rock, dance, instrumental, mellow, hard, and long songs. And I've got rotation rules in here. Like it says, for instance, pop. Don't play more than 3 in a row. And don't play more than 10 in an hour. And again, those are rules that you set up to make the station sound the way you want it to sound. Okay, so that's a big part of setting up your categories, your rotation, and the log uses those rules to plug the songs in each hour, so they'll come out sounding the way you want it to sound. It also allows you to set the enforcement of these rules. You know, how stern do you want it to be? This window here, and it's got scheduling mode, a manual and automatic. In automatic, it will automatically do the best it can if it comes up with a problem of not being able to schedule songs because of rules. And I have it set for manual. So in manual, it will alert me, as I showed you before, when there's an issue, and then I can personally step in and figure it out. But you can, if you don't want to mess with that, if it's not important to you, you can set it on automatic, and it will do the best it can with the songs that are available and fitting those into your rotation rules. Okay, so these other things, there's system settings. You know, I won't go into that. There's undoing scheduling, by the way. If, let's say, you scheduled an hour, or excuse me, a whole day's format worth of scheduling, and you decided that, well, tonight, you know what, there's something going on, I think I want to run this special program. You can actually go in and unschedule a previously scheduled hour, or excuse me, day, and you can pick if you just want to unschedule 1 hour or 8 hours. You can do that, and it'll leave all the other hours scheduled, and then you just run through the process again. Or it's like, say, you know, you wanted to change a format clock during certain hours, you could go back and redo that and then run your schedule. So you know, like any program, there's a learning curve, but I've used quite a few of these type programs, and this is, to me, is as user friendly as any of them. And this is a professional music scheduling program used by commercial stations all over the world. So this program, in conjunction with the Playout program, Playout 1, I think it's a good combination, especially for a home studio where you're on a budget. This program I paid, I believe it was about $250. That was 3 years ago, and I don't know if you've shopped any music scheduling programs, professional ones, you'll understand that that's a good price. And the support has been really good. And the Playout 1 program, I only paid, I think, $150 for that. That's a couple of years ago. Those prices may have changed somewhat. If they have, I don't think it's very much, if there has been a change. But you know, if, like I say, if you're on a budget, and who's not, especially when you're building your home studio, I think these are good programs to take a look at and consider. So this is Buzz with episode number 10, where I'm reviewing the music scheduling program for my radio automation system here in my home studio. And as I said in a previous video, I'll be going through the different parts of the system here, one video at a time. So if you want to see, like, for instance, the processing rack and the mixer and all the other associated equipment, then stay tuned. There's more coming with AirWaves. This is Buzz. Until next time, I'll see you down the dial.